Welcome to another INN CEO Talks. In this episode, we're talking to Frank Basa, the CEO, and Matt Halliday, the president of Canada Silver Cobalt Works, which trades on the TSX Venture under the symbol CCW, on the OTC as CCWOF, and also on the Frankfurt Exchange under the symbol 4T9B. Canada Cobalt Works recently issued the results of assays which confirmed the significant potential of discovering additional high-grade silver from its Castle Works flagship property located near Cobalt, Ontario. Joining me now are Frank Basa and Matt Halliday. Gentlemen, welcome. Pretty exciting times in the green economy market, isn't it? Yes. And also exciting times for you. Tell me exactly what has been happening. You just issued these results. What are they telling us?
Well, what we've done here is we've kind of hit what we call a very high-grade zone. We're actually calling it the Robertson Zone after the geologist who originally found it. He's still working for us. And so we're kind of following up with a fairly, what I call reasonable drill program. It's about 50,000 meters. We might add to it. And we keep on hitting these, what we call classical cobalt-silver grades, which are anywhere from 30,000 to 89,000 grams per ton. And, we did our first maiden resource. It came in about a little over 7 million ounces at 250 ounces a ton. That's 250 ounces a ton. And there are no equivalents in there. That's pure silver. We also have nickel, we have cobalt, we have copper, and we have gold. So we kind of look at our company, although it's a silver play, we do have a fair amount of cobalt. We're kind of looking at it more or less as, if you want to call it, an EV asset company. Just recently, we also staked about 40,000 hectares. We're actually looking for a very large nickel copper deposit in Quebec and in Ontario.
Wow. So, Matt, where do you go from here? What's the next steps?
Well, the next steps is we're going to continue drilling. We've been very successful implementing wedge drilling. And so we're going to wedge this high-grade intercept and define a new panel, update our resources, and continue to grow that resource. And we'll continue drilling at the castle.
What's the timeline?
Well, the current program is not even just under halfway done. So we have another 8 months at least of drilling, and I think it's going to be the most exciting drilling that we've had to date. We've set the base, so we understand a lot of the structures and we understand a lot of the orientation, and we're getting new data from the modeling right now. So the next half of this program is going to be focused on really targeting the next panel and the next panel and next panel.
Yeah. So it's pretty ambitious drilling program that you've got underway right at the moment.
Absolutely, it's a good program, lots of success. I mean, we're delighted to see another high grade panel, and I think it's really important that this is a structurally hosted type deposit. So we're getting more information on the structures every day. And we have a good team of geologists who are modeling it up. So, it makes the next steps easier. And also in the beginning of the year, we completed a pretty good program for geophysics. The results were encouraging. So we have some more geophysics planned for this year, and we're going to incorporate that into the drill plan.
Frank mentioned that silver is the focus, and I think it's also important to touch on the fact that silver is a precious metal on its own, but it's also becoming very important in the green economy as we move towards those kinds of uses of silver that are going to help to ensure that we start to meet some of those objectives that have been laid out by, even the new president of the United States, Joe Biden. He's saying we really want to push in this direction. So, Frank, from your perspective, how encouraging is that for you that we're seeing that kind of support for the development of the green economy, particularly from the White House?
Well, I'm very pleased. When you look at it, even on, it's interesting you mentioned silver. Samsung actually built a solid state battery using silver, which has a faster charge time, a longer, gives you range. People want range with their electric vehicles. So, when you look at it, we have all the key metals, basically the base metals, and of course silver, which is kind of a plus plus for us. Yeah, and I'm kind of pleased that the world's going in that direction. Basically, we are going to be the new oil, and it's not going to stop. And we were there in Asia years ago, and I tell you, Canada has. I'm glad they're catching up. I'm really
Right.
glad to see that happen.
One of the things in that green economy, of course, is that they want purity and consistency. How are your results
Yep.
playing into that requirement by so many of these global players now? You mentioned Samsung, and then, of course, there are others who are looking for those clean, pure sources of materials.
See, actually, the ore, actually, the cobalt camp has a lot of what I'll call it's a polymetallic deposit, but it also has arsenic in it, which we understood that from day one. So we developed a process called the Retox, and when we were in Japan, we actually talked to Sumitomo. They gave us what we call the Sumitomo specs. So we produce a very concentrated, high arsenic product. We sent it to our people at SGS in Lakefield. The arsenic level was 49%. So we took all the arsenic out, and they did produce a cobalt sulfate meeting Sumitomo specs. So, we feel that the potential is here. It's a complex ore body, but there's a lot of pluses to the ore body. So basically, if you try to make just a silver pay, which it did. I used to work here for Agnico Eagle Mines, and the only thing they mined here was silver. And this is like 35 years ago, and they threw everything else away. So basically, we're getting our cobalt for free, we're getting our nickel for free, and the copper's free. And then we found out, it seems to be the bar weight in our silver bar weight. We get 3 to 5% gold in it. So it's kind of a nice, nice area, the cobalt camp, the whole cobalt camp.
So you're pretty pleased or excited about the results that you've had right now. You've got an ambitious plan moving forward. What's the long-term objective here? Do you see building out this as a mine site if you're able to confirm what you believe to be there, or are you looking to vend in with a major?
Well, see, right now we're proceeding with putting down a ramp. We initiated the studies. We signed a contract just yesterday for the environmental studies. The intent is to put down a ramp. The intent is also to take a fairly significant bulk sample. We acquired a facility called Temiskaming Testing Labs, where majority of the people in the camp used to send all their silver here to be poured. The facility can pour about 1.6 million ounces of silver. So we're looking at, add to the area. A lot of people are trying to give us their properties, which we're interested for a reasonable price. We think it's a fair deal, and we're looking at putting a mill on the property. And the Retox has proven itself to be able to produce the products that the car makers want. So long term, somebody knocks on our door, I'm very happy to let them have it. Otherwise, we've kind of added to the team. Matt, there's our recent acquisition. We'll be changing some other people. But in the intent, somebody feels that they can take it and run with it, we'll let them have it.
Investors are looking at the company right now going, okay, why is now the time that I should be investing in your company?
Well, I think price of silver is, it went up. I think there's a long way to go. A lot of our European investors, especially the Germans, they think silver go to $80 to $120 an ounce. If it does, we're very happy. We're also looking at, expanding, our resource, our silver resource, but we're also looking at adding a lot of nickel, cobalt, copper to the equation. And you can see we staked a lot of ground just recently. And actually, we're always looking for ground actually anywhere in the world right now. I think it's exciting times. We kind of check off a lot of the boxes for a lot of our investors.
Well, I agree with you. I think it is a very exciting time in this space. So unfortunately, we're out of time right now, but I'm hoping that you'll come back and give us an update in a few months. Thank you very much for joining me today on this edition of INN CEO Talks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.